Charles, first of all, congratulations on the Sports Emmy.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. A lot of people work hard at Turner Sports. I appreciate them.
Do you ever get any feedback when you're negative about the NBA playoffs aren't any good, or you might be critical of True TV or any of that? Does anybody ever say, Charles, can you ease up a little bit here?
No, because the NBA playoffs haven't been good. I mean, Dan, the fans aren't stupid. Well, I mean, some of them are, but most fans are they knowledgeable. They know that we've only had last night was only the second game in this round that was decided by less than double digits. I mean, fans aren't stupid. They know this thing has not been good, and I've said for the last couple of years, if we keep making these super teams, we're gonna have there's gonna be a backlash. I mean, you think about it, between guys resting, and we know who's going to be in the finals every year, there's going to be a backlash at some point.
How much criticism do you give James Harden on last night's performance?
You have to. He didn't play well for a couple of reasons. Number one, he kept turning the ball over, but he was just holding the ball to try to make the offense and scoring like in the last 5 seconds of the game. It was really weird. James has played great all year, but for some reason last night, and maybe it was only because they only played 7 players. I don't even remember that ever happening in the NBA, where a team in the playoffs only plays 7 players. So maybe he got tired because, he's going against Kawhi Leonard, who's probably the best defender in the world. And then that Simmons kid plays fantastic. So he might have been tired, but I just got frustrated. Like, they just held the ball the last 5 minutes of the game and the last 5 minutes of overtime. They would just hold the ball till there was 5 seconds to go on the clock and then try to make something miraculous happen.
If this was another player, would we be more critical of that player? If this was Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry or LeBron James who did that last night, would we be more critical today?
Yes. Remember, guys have been killing Russell Westbrook for the last X amount of years when he was in that same situation. But you know what? It finally got a decent game. But man, the guys from the Spurs, Danny Green, my man Ginobili, they made great plays down the stretch. But I was just excited to get a good game because the playoffs at this point, they haven't been very good.
Charles Barkley joining us, Dan Patrick Show. We were talking about the best trio in NBA history. At their peak, we were talking about Magic, Kareem, and Worthy, even though Kareem wasn't at his peak then. Bird, Mikhail Parrish, LeBron, Wade, Bosh, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Pierce, Garnett, Allen, although I don't think any of those were at their peak. Curry, Durant, Thompson, Duncan, Parker, and Manu. If you were starting a team, and I said you could pick that trio of those on that list, who would you pick?
Well, if my memory is, I don't remember everything. I mean, first of all, you can't I'm not even in that conversation because I was like a rookie 2 years after the Sixers won the championship, so I wasn't any good. And Doc and Moses were past their prime. Probably the closest guys in their prime would be Bird, McHale, and Parrish, the greatest front line ever. They're right there. Michael, Scotty, and Horace Grant were terrific. I think that Horace Grant nobody ever mentions him because he was just quiet, but he was great.
Was he better than Rodman?
He's a better all-around player than Dennis Rodman, yes. Dennis was clearly a better rebounder. Horace was an underrated defender, and he was clearly a much better scorer. Because he was underrated. But Dennis obviously is a great rebounder.
But Magic and Worthy were at their peak, even though Kareem was on the tail end. He was still going to score if you got it into him.
But he was past his prime. Worthy and obviously Magic and Worthy were terrific, but Kareem he's probably almost 40 at doing one of their rings probably. So the Magic and Worthy were in their prime because James won MVP if I remember correctly.
If I said LeBron, Wade, and Bosch, Magic, Kareem, and Worthy, is LeBron and Magic a push?
Yeah. LeBron, I've said this. Nobody's ever going to get in my top five.
Stop saying that. Will you stop saying that? Because if LeBron wins 2 more, he doesn't get in your top 5? You're crazy.
I'll put him past Kobe. No, you guys make me laugh. You guys.
Now us guys. Who's us guys?
Well, because you guys are always talking about championships. So how does LeBron just get to supersede Kobe if Kobe got 2 more championships? Like I said, if LeBron wins one or 2 more, maybe one.
Yeah.
If they beat the Warriors this year, I might move him past Kobe. Listen, I'm old school. I've always said Michael, Oscar, Kareem, Bill Russell, and Wilt. Those are my 5 greatest, and that's never going to change.
Okay.
Now, Kobe, LeBron, those guys are on the out. Or they're 5 and they're 6 and 7. But I always laugh. I hear these guys on TV talking about where does LeBron rank. First of all, he is amazing. He's amazing. But y'all are always talking about how many championship guys won. Kobe's got 5 championships. Unless LeBron wins another one, I'm going to keep him at number 7 behind Kobe.
That's the only way that he can pass Kobe is if he wins another title.
That's what you guys be telling me.
Well, no. How much do you value that? How many championships did Wilt Chamberlain win? Oscar won 1.
Yeah, but the problem is Oscar won 1, but he averaged a triple-double. Now, the guy going to win MVP because he averaged a triple-double. And in fairness to Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West, to me, are probably the 2 most underrated players of all time. Because, everybody said they only won one. I think Jerry won 2 and Wilt won 2, I think. But they lost in the finals to Bill. They lost to Bill Russell like 12 years in a row.
I know.
There's no shame in losing to Bill Russell in the finals. I mean, they were loaded. The Celtics were.
Here's a question for you. Do you think we wondered this? If I asked Larry Bird, who's the greatest Celtic of all time, would Bird say himself or Bill Russell?
I think he'd say Bill Russell.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But would he think that he was the greatest of all time, the greatest Celtic of all time? He would just be respectful.
No, I think you got to give. I mean, think about it. Bill Russell, I don't even know what he did in high school, but he won in college. I think he won 2 in college, and he won 11 in the NBA. That's self-explanatory. He's the greatest Celtic ever, no question even asked. I don't even think it's close. If you have more rings than fingers, you're in all conversation on the best to do anything.
He should add a finger. Him and Phil Jackson should add a finger. Hey, can you stick around? I want to ask you about this new show called American Race. Can you do that?
Sure.
All right, we'll come back. Emmy winner Charles Barkley. In fact, once they announced that he had won a sports Emmy last night, I think Kenny Smith doused you with champagne. Is that right?
Yeah, man. I'm going to punch him in the head at some point.
What if Shaq did it to you?
Huh?
What if Shaq did it to you? Would you have punched him too?
Oh, he did it. He did it to me also. And that's like the second time he's done it. They caught me off guard last night.
Shaq is getting bigger, isn't he, Charles?
Shaq's just a big dude, man.
How much does he weigh? How many spins? Is he like 3.5 spins?
Oh, no. You need to spin harder.
Is he 350 or is he more than that?
He's more than that.
Oh, man. I couldn't imagine taking a charge from him.
He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude.
Is anybody bigger? Like Mark Eaton was a big guy. Who else? Does anybody come close to Shaq as far as size goes?
Mark Eaton is probably the biggest guy who was big and thick. I mean, obviously we've had Mutombo, who's just tall and lanky. We have Manubo, who's tall and lanky. But Mark Eden is, but man, you know what? You look at guys, I tell people, you look at guys like Embiid, Bill Walton, Augustus, big guys like 7'1", 7'2".
Yeah.
The notion that Shaquille O'Neal could stay healthy for 20 years is one of the most physically amazing things. Because Shaq is, from day one, he was humongous. And for him to be able to play double-digit years in the NBA, I think he played 20 and never get hurt. He got hurt at the end. Everybody gets hurt at the end. But for him to be able to play and stay healthy is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
You have a new show on TNT. It's called American Race, and
really excited about it.
All right, you've never shied away. We've always had great conversations. You look at both sides, or three sides, or four sides, whatever it is. But what is it about this show that you want people to know?
Well, you know, first of all, there's I got some critics who are full of it, who say things about me that's not true. You know, I've said some positive things about the cops in the past, so my critics try to say that I think it's all right to kill unarmed black men, and that I'm for police brutality. So that's one thing I want to come out. I'm not for police brutality. I'm not for police killing unarmed black men. So my critics need to stop trying to make their name on me. My critics, you have no talent. So the way for you to get people to click and listen to you is to take shots at me. So let that misnomer go. I'm not for police brutality in any form whatsoever. Secondly, we in the black community, we need the cops because some of our wounds are self-inflicted. We got to start treating each other with more respect and dignity. We got to stop killing each other. That's one thing that I hope come out of the show. But the first show is from Baltimore. It's really about the relationship between the black community and the cops, and I try to examine that. One episode is about the Muslim ban, and an episode is about undocumented immigrants. So I'm doing what I was meant to do: start a dialogue and a conversation. Some people don't like it, which I hope they do. Some people going to dislike it, which they'll get over that too. I'm going to do me. I'm not going to worry about my critics or what other people think. I'm just going to keep trying to do positive things, plain and simple.
Before I let you go, I saw where Lonzo Ball's shoes are $4.95. What did your shoes go for when you were playing?
I don't think my shoes ever got, I think maybe $200 at the top end. Or close to it.
Wow.
I don't know the exact number, but I think close to 200 at some point when I was at the peak of my talents.
But that might translate to about $400 in today's dollars.
I would not let Nike sell my shoes for $400. Michael Jordan probably should have the highest price tag on shoes because, number one, for not just what he did, you got to think about this, Dan. Nobody was selling shoes until Michael came along.
Mm-hmm.
There was no individual shoes. So Michael should always make the most money, not just because he had great shoes and Nike make a great product, but think about it. There's guys making $100 million a year because of Michael Jordan. So he should always have the highest price shoes because he made it good for everybody. Nobody had a signature shoe before Michael Jordan. So that's why he should always have, because he made all of us a lot of money.
He's Charles Barkley. You can tune in tonight and tomorrow night at 9 and 10 Eastern. It's called American Race. Charles, again, congratulations on another Sports Emmy, and good luck with the show.
Thank you, my brother. You guys take care of yourself. Keep up the great work.
That's Charles Barkley.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.